The first order was to get out. And these chaps in the striped uniforms came to the door to help us off the wagons. We were young, and even for me it was a long way to jump. And you imagine old people sitting 3 days and 3 nights until they got them off, and children and babies, and the children were fractious, the babies were crying. And it took a while until that long, long train got emptied. The next thing was that the able-bodied men had to stand separate. They had to get out of from the rest of the people. My father was about 42, I think, said goodbye to us. There was, in our family, I was the oldest of 4 girls. My next sister was 13, then I had one 7, and one 10 and one 7. There were 4 girls of us, my mother. So my father said goodbye to us. They didn't take them anywhere, they just stood there. And the rest of us arrivals, we had to start moving forward. Now imagine this is a long queue, mothers dragging children around and carrying babies. And it was weird. And certain things happened, and I remember right in front of me there was a family. There was a young woman with a few weeks old baby on her arms. And next to her was her mother and some more siblings. And this chap in the striped uniform, he knew what's going to happen. So he went to the young woman who held the baby and asked her, "Have you got your mother with you?" And she says, "Yes, she's here." "Well, why don't you give the baby to your mother?" "Why should I give my baby to the mother?" "Because then you can work and mothers can take care of the baby." So she thought it was a good idea. So the mother took the baby. And all this happening while we are going. And I thought it was a strange thing. And right in front of us, again, I could hear another woman shouting, "No, I'm not giving a baby. I'm not giving my baby to anybody." That was another young woman. And she wasn't giving her baby. And the chap in the striped uniform said, "Shh, don't shout. The SS mustn't hear." So all this was done without them knowing, without the Germans knowing. Anyway, eventually when I could see to the end of the queue, I could see that there were about 4 or 5 high-ranking officers, and one in particular was parting people, right, left. So we soon found out that the mothers and the little ones go one way, and the young ones, or young women, the other. And when our turn came, my 13-year-old sister put her arms in my right hand, and I had my arms in my mother's hand. So my sister was on this side, my mother on my left side, and my mother's other side were the 2 girls. So when we arrived in front of him, he just took my arms out of my mother's arm, and he said to my sister and I, "Now you 2 girls are young and you can work, so you go to the right, and Mom and the children will go into another camp where they don't work, and you will be able to see them by and by." Now, all this happens in seconds because behind you, people are milling. And I'm looking at my mother, and she looks at my 13-and-a-half-year-old sister. And the last word she said to me, "Take care of her, will you?" And I just nodded. I couldn't speak. And so she went, and I had to go that way. And we were looking at them as they were going. And my 10-year-old sister looked back, and my mother was dragging her behind. And that was the last I saw of them.